Welcome back, Let's Podcast Nation, to another episode. Today we got the gang back together.
Luke.
Evan.
And
And Zach.
Squad.
how we all doing? How you guys doing? How's you guys' weeks?
I'm good.
You know, my mom got deported and my girlfriend left me. But at least I got the van. Am I right, homies?
Hey.
No, none of these things happened. I did lose my girlfriend, unfortunately.
He
But
doesn't even have a girlfriend.
Right from the very, I literally was driving over there. I was like, I wonder if he'll bring it up.
what you asked how my week was?
I just had a beach day today, so that was something.
Did you go with your girlfriend?
I went with
No, I don't have
my
a girlfriend.
girlfriend.
What'd you guys do?
Yeah, I went and it was really nice. It was okay. I'm not the biggest beach guy. It's sand and it's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere, so I'm just not a big fan.
I mean, I wouldn't like beaches either if I
it was
didn't
fun.
read, you know?
Yeah, I read for a little bit there.
What is this, a nerd off right now? Like, what?
No, I'm calling Trent out. I have to every episode, you know?
Luke, you'd be proud. I read like half a chapter. So
Yo, let's high five.
this episode, we got another movie review for you. Hope you
I thought you
enjoyed
were
the
going to say
last
this
one.
episode was sponsored by...
The beach.
Sorry.
Go to
Sponsored by
the
Lars.
beach.
Go to the... Sponsored by the beach, yes.
Oh, hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. Sorry about Zach's audio. Live and we learn. And this is all a learning process, as is life. So,
Sorry.
but yeah, today we're doing another movie review on Lars and the Real Girl. This was a really cool movie. This was Zach's pick, so none of us has watched this movie before. No, Evan, you watched it once.
Yeah,
before.
I've seen it before, yeah.
How the frig? I forgot you've seen this before. How do you go through a point in your life where you're like, I'm just going to watch that?
Wait, we did that today.
No, you did it because I made you. He did this voluntarily.
I did, yeah.
But
I
you
wanted to watch-
also chose to do it voluntarily.
Yeah, because I wanted to mess with you guys.
Yeah.
Did you
I
rewatch
thought
it?
was good.
Did you watch it, Evan?
No, I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, so I'm a little rusty on this. Yeah, my bad. But I'm very excited to talk about it because I really enjoyed it the first time. So maybe talking about it will make me want to revisit it like tonight as soon as we're done recording this. So it's the hope.
Great timing. Yeah, after the podcast.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
great.
Yep.
So Lars and the Real Girl, came out in 2007, which I didn't know it was that old. That was kind of cool. And just for the numbers, so the budget I saw was around 12 million. The box office, funny enough, was around 12 million. It was 11 million 200. Excuse me, 11,200,000 is what they made at the box office. So they probably didn't make money off this. Which, I don't know. Was Ryan as big as he was now? Or was he like a rise?
When did
Could I
The
say he was a
Notebook
rising
come out?
star then?
I mean,
Notebook was before.
he
So
had
he's
done
coming
the
off the Notebook in 2004. Yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't know if you can say
I'm
rising
surprised.
star.
So I guess,
Yeah.
What'd you say,
yeah,
Evan?
because Notebook was his thing.
I was gonna say I
Notebook
don't think
was
you can
huge,
call him
too.
a rising star just because of the Notebook, but he definitely was not the level of success he is now. So either or, whatever you want to call him, is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still at a level of stardom, though. Like, Notebook still is and was, you know, it's like the romance movie.
Yeah.
Like, crazy come up. So, definitely a big guy for this movie.
Yeah, and so I'm surprised that I didn't pull up just for that factor, and then especially when you actually pull in the Notebook. Someone coming off that movie, you think they'd be able to pull a lot of names, a lot of
It's
people.
just
but-
crazy. You get a movie of like the Notebook quality, and then you get like this movie, and you're just like, "Whoa, my goodness! Maybe he is good at what he's doing." You know?
Drastic change. And yeah, so I guess that goes into the cast. So Ryan Gosling is in this. I'm just gonna name some random people here. Emily Mortimer. Anyone know who that is? What she's been in?
Mortimer.
Was she
Mortimer?
the chick in the Island movie,
She's familiar to me, too.
Shutter Island? Is she the mom in the cave?
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, she's in Shutter Island. Good pull. She's in Cars too.
Oh, I didn't know
She's
that
in
one.
Cars.
Yeah, she seems to be in a lot of random early 2000s stuff. Is what I'm kind of seeing. Well, I don't know her that well.
Oh, she was in Notting
Uh,
Hill. Notting Hill's a great movie.
I saw that. Yeah, I really want to watch that movie.
Okay.
That's cool. Paul Schneider is in this.
Yeah,
Anyone
he's in
know
a couple
him?
things. He's in a couple things. He was in
Is
like
he?
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's in Parks and Rec.
Is he a TV guy for the most part then?
Maybe.
Wonder. I've never recognized him, but he is
Is he
in.
playing Parks
He's
and Rec
listed in
again?
a lot of stuff.
Paul. I think his name is. No, Mark. Mark. My bad.
Okay.
Someone I've never heard of before. I thought he did
He's
really good in
dating
this.
that-
Actually,
Yeah.
In Parks and Rec, he dates that nurse.
Yes.
I haven't seen that show in forever though. I don't remember her name either.
and the last one that I'll name here is Patricia Clarkson, which I'm not that familiar with her, but she's in Green Mile. So that's all I need to know about her.
Pretty sure she's also in
Sure,
Shutter
again.
Island, which is interesting.
She was also in what, sir?
Shutter Island. Yeah, she's also in Shutter Island.
Oh, there was one of the facts I did see somewhere is there was actually like a lot of people in this that have been in other movies together. So Ryan and I think even the main girl were in something else together. Anyway, there was a lot of that for some reason.
Who do you mean by the main girl?
This would be what his sister-in-law.
Sorry,
The real-
it's just
the real
weird.
one?
I can't seem to find Bianca's actress, and I don't
Do you have-
really understand.
Do you have the Do you have what the director's name is and what he did up on you?
Craig Gillespie.
Gillespie.
I'm gonna say it, but
Yeah.
someone correct me.
Gillespie. Yeah.
Gillespie.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's done Cruella. He's done Dumb Money, which is really cool. He did I, Tonya. Has anyone seen I, Tonya?
Yes. Great
No.
movie. I love I, Tonya.
I've heard good things. I think that would be really cool to see. He is also listed to do Supergirl 26.
Interesting.
Assumedly, it's like a movie that they're gonna do with Supergirl. So that could be cool. I thought his like directing was cool in this. But do you guys have any opinions, or when you seem to recognize the dude, do you have an opinion of Mr. Craig?
Yeah. So I think it's interesting. He's doing some good work here, and you can see between this and Dumb Money that he no longer has any directing skill at all.
Whoa!
So-
Wait! Whoa!
A little worried about Supergirl, to be honest. Dumb Money, I don't know. It could just be because it was like a COVID production and it was so recent that it was like time was of the essence to get that movie out before, like, even 3 months later, it'd be so irrelevant. So maybe that's why. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was that. But I didn't even love Cruella, so I'll say he's downward sliding.
The crazy
You did
thing,
like
I actually
Icon.
quite liked that movie.
Dumb Money?
You did like I, Tonya though.
Yeah,
Right?
oh yeah.
I, Tonya.
I, Tonya is really good, yeah.
You watched
And
Dumb Money,
concur
didn't you
that-
like it? Yeah, I thought Dumb Money was awesome.
Money
Paul
was-
Dano,
Dumb Money
so good
was-
in that movie.
I agree. I think at least it was fine. I don't think it should get flack.
Quite funny. I hard disagree.
Well,
talk about the
performances and script are one thing. Like that's all fine. I'm cool with that. My problem is the directing. Can you tell me a single shot that looked good? A single mise en scène. You can't.
The track,
Single
tracks,
blocking.
everything in the track. I thought like
No.
That's a great pull. Luke. That track was really
yeah,
good.
that's standing on my man immediately. I had one off the dome.
I didn't watch that. I just watched Lars and the Real Girl. Actually, you guys
Has anyone
remember
watched
that
the
movie?
Cruella movie? Has anyone watched the Cruella movie?
I have.
Not completely. No. Walked out
Okay.
because it's
It's
so
one that I
bad.
never got to, but Emma Stone is kind of pulling me to watch it eventually, but we'll see.
So
I'm not a
bad
huge
I
really
walked
live
out.
care
action
for
guy.
Emma
so.
Stone.
I think she's cool. She's also kind of funny. Oh, Craig
Easy,
is
eh?
Australian. by the
You,
way.
what does
That's
she
funny.
do besides Spider Man?
Oh man,
What I said?
long list of that.
La La Land, dude. My favorite movie.
La La Land.
I'd,
Good.
La La Land's
Just
incredible.
dancing.
No, La La
Yeah, it's kind of,
No,
it's
dude.
kind of mid.
Oh my
Luke's
goodness.
No, Trent's
What
a
a
hater.
hater. What a hater, dude.
Trent doesn't even
I'll
like
take that
Ryan
back. I need
Gosling.
to-
Trent does not like Ryan Gosling.
I'm not
He's
gonna
a-
lie,
he's a
Trent
friggin-
not liking the movie actually makes me want to watch it more.
the heck? That's so.
She's in the Croods too. Oh my,
Good
never
take.
mind.
Good
Emma
take.
Stone is?
Apparently,
Yeah, she plays. Who's the guy in that movie?
I would be curious to see if like Trent's hatred for Ryan Gosling like is still around even after watching this movie where he's showing like incredible depth
It's
and
gonna
range.
be. He's gonna double
you know?
down because he's Trent.
He's
I
gonna,
don't
he's
know
gonna.
what you're asking.
But
Wait, he's showing what exactly, Evan? What did you say?
depth and range. Compare this performance to like the Fall Guy or Blade Runner or anything like that. You say he has no range. Now,
Barbie.
Bro, this
now
compared
you've
to
seen the
Blade
extremes,
Runner
dude.
is
So,
crazy range. And Barbie,
you know,
bro.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
we will discuss that.
Yes, we will. Yeah. And before we talk about more specific stuff, we'll do our really funny synopsis thingy that we all love. At least I enjoy it. Yeah, so we're just going to do the same thing last time. We're going to take turns and take a stab at explaining the general story of the film. I think we must have went last time in
think we
like
did loop.
Let's order. So
Yeah.
let's do it backwards maybe this time.
No,
Zach,
please,
you-
guys, start.
Okay, well, if you're
'Cause
ready,
that's all he
sir.
knows.
Okay,
Yeah.
next
That's
time
all he
we'll-
knows is the
I was gonna
start.
say, starts where I feel the most confident.
I don't
So-
think we should let him start.
Do you want to start, Zach? If you want to start, go for it,
He's so
Zach.
confident on the start. I feel like we can't give it to him.
No,
I
no,
love
no,
it.
no,
Let's
no.
go,
I
Zach.
can't do the end. I can't do
Right,
the end.
ribbon promo.
Alright.
Ribbon promo.
Lonely.
It's more than one
That's
word.
my first
Oh.
word.
Oh, we're just doing
Okay.
words. Oh, okay.
Isn't that what we're doing? One word?
No, a whole
No, a
sentence.
sentence.
So you can do like a sentence, like
I thought it was
Find the
one
word.
word. I thought it was okay. So a lonely man.
That's the whole sentence.
We gotta go
Lonely man.
fast. We're doing it one time around, Zach.
I thought you guys jump on to the end of it.
yeah, no.
Sum up
If you
the
want
whole
to,
movie.
okay,
Okay, all right,
a
cool.
lonely man, who has family members that try to get him out of his shell.
Oh my goodness, just describe the whole movie.
No, that's like the beginning. Like I think that's anyway.
To stop being so lonely, he tries to get a friend.
His family does not accept his foreign friend.
At first, but then they learn to love her.
Community bonding. Boom. I think that's pretty good.
That's perfect. Round of applause, everyone.
That's great. So yeah, Lars and the Real Girl. Zach, you were the one that picked this movie, so do you want to go first, just of general thoughts and what you enjoyed or what you did not enjoy?
Yeah. I think I liked it. I think I liked it more than I thought I was going to. This movie made me feel emotions. I honestly can't say that about most movies.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah, in a good way. There, but the acting was all really good. Like actually, like I think everyone played their roles well, especially Bianca. She did really good. But there were some scenes.
Context: Bianca is the doll.
Is the doll. But there are some scenes, like the scene where this is not. I don't think this is a spoiler. We can chop it up if we need to. The scene where Ryan Gosling takes her to the treehouse thing, and he's like singing around and talking to her. I was like, I could not do that. If you stuck a camera in front of me and was like, sing both parts of this and talk to your doll, what are we doing right now?
When he's on top of the tree, the
Yeah.
treehouse.
That part, I was like, okay, that's pretty good actually. I'm not gonna lie. And then all the fights, and then I don't know. I thought it was just pretty good. I thought the brother was also very good the whole time. He seemed like genuinely concerned. He did his role really well. I think the acting was just really good. I mean, we could go into more like descriptive. I think like the set pieces and the costumes and stuff were all good too. But honestly, at the end of the movie, I don't know if I have much negative to say about it.
That's awesome. Nice.
Good thing I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a Debbie Downer.
You want to go next, Luke? What are your
Sure.
thoughts on the movie?
I was more mid on it than Zach. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that might be a hot take here. I found the movie
Coming from a guy who listened to the movie in his car, by the way.
only the last half. Only the last 45
Luke!
minutes. Last 5 minutes. I didn't have time. I had to go to
Oh,
school
yeah,
today.
Yeah, talk about the set pieces. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I watched most of the movie. I watched most of the movie. I think the first half which is the part I saw, took a long time getting set up. And like I had trouble, I guess, immediately being glued to the screen. I felt like the setup took a long time. The acting was all phenomenal. I really liked the acting. I had another critique too. I really did find it it's the movie was listed as a comedy. And say this is a weird critique. I didn't find the movie that funny. Something that I think was going for a comedic tone. Some parts made me laugh, and I could see it was more of a dry humor in some ways. But I really did not. I don't know. I wanted to know what you guys found. Did you guys find the movie quite funny? Like there was maybe one or two scenes that I laughed at, but other than that, I didn't find it lived up to that part. Like it was listed as a comedy drama, a codramy, and I did not get that dramatic part.
Dramedy?
But the dramedy, that's way before it. Things I liked. Ryan Gosling, I thought was phenomenal. He was so good throughout the whole movie, and I don't know. It didn't make me cry at the end, but I did find it emotional. So it wasn't, it didn't hit the emotional peaks that I was looking for. That's kind of my thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Luke, to hear that. The comedy thing, I would love to talk about that for a second. Because at the very end, I also noticed that it was listed as a we'd said it was a dramedy.
Dramedy. Yep.
Or a...
No, Evan's name was way better. Yeah, he's dramedy.
I kind of like the other one, though.
A comedy
and I was also kind of surprised by that. And I was thinking to myself, and I'm ready for this to not make sense because I don't even know how to explain it. But I feel like a regular comedy, they literally they have a script, and then at this point they insert the joke with the expectation that someone's gonna laugh. I feel like in this, they didn't have that. I think they just kind of wrote the script, and then by the end product they had funny-ish lines in there that people were laughing at, and then it became a comedy. I don't think at any point they made, but again, like they did because it is a comedy. Like I know that it is. I don't think they went into it with the expectation that people would be like laughing hysterically at lines. Because I think I do kind of agree with you to some extent, Luke. But I did find some parts funny, like some one-off lines here and there. But it just, I don't know. I think the movie was so genuine, and because of that, the jokes didn't actually sound like a joke. That makes some sense. But I'm glad that you also brought that up too, because I do kind of agree with you that, like, I wouldn't have called it a comedy, I don't think. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I found a lot of the humor was more awkward and made me uncomfortable.
I thought that was the goal, though. There's a couple times where that was on purpose.
I agree.
For sure.
Trent,
I was surprised too when I was looking up what it was nominated for and stuff, and a lot of them were under comedy. I was like, what? I did not expect that.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it a comedy. I think its brand of humor is different. And so I do think at its core it's a comedy. But I think it treated its comedy like it wasn't playing male loneliness or mental health or anything like that as a joke. Which is very refreshing for a tight, like it so easily could have been, oh, this guy's so stupid, look at him, he's got a sex doll as a girlfriend, oh, and it could have been like any other early 2000s comedy ever. And so I'm really glad they went the route they did and treated it very, like you said, Trent, genuinely. And I think a lot of the comedy stems from not like the absurdity of the situation, but how realistic the absurdity was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally agree. And a little kind of a segue now, but just with your comment about how genuine it was and stuff like that, it was an interview that Ryan Gosling was in, and he said how nice and heartwarming this movie is. It in the whole thing, and like yes, there's maybe sad parts or there's parts that someone would make fun of Lars, or no, I don't know actually if I would say make fun, but judge Lars. But it doesn't go further than that. The whole thing is very. I can't remember how you worded it exactly, but it was basically it happened in a world where the best things you'd want to happen would kind of happen, and we see that very much so with the community, how open they are with Lars and Bianca and stuff. So. It was very, very genuine, which was really, really fun. And then and then something else that you brought up, Luke, the pacing. I totally disagree. I thought it was really nice. I think I think if anything, the pacing it went quick, and it did that on purpose. So we see like that quick little, I don't know how long it was, but those first few scenes, and then we see that time jump, then boom, Bianca shows up. And I think that works really well just because it sends the message of this guy's lonely, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, it puts you right into like the actual heart of the movie. And then I think that runs really well.
One of the points I wanted to get to, I kind of forgot about, is the opening scene I thought originally was dragging on and then realized the importance of it later. It connects into end themes really well. I don't know if I want to say more than that.
I wish I remembered how long it was, but I feel like it wasn't that long though.
It's an hour and
The
40
movie
minutes.
was an hour 46.
No, sorry, I meant that like beginning little chunk
Oh.
before the time jump.
Yeah, but I just mean like the scene where the sister-in-law there, I guess, like jumps on him to get him to go to breakfast. That was weird at first, but then later in the movie, you realize how much it actually would have affected him.
Yeah.
And there's just little things like that where it's like it's really trying to drive home where this character is at, and nobody understands it. His brother doesn't get it. Sister-in-law doesn't get it. You don't get it. But then later it all comes together.
I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. I had a great time watching it a year ago. It's kind of fun, but also like I think again I'm gonna keep falling back on this word genuine. It's very genuine, and that makes it like so heartfelt. I'm tired of non-genuine comedies, dramas, anything. We're scared now as a culture to be really sincere. I found this to be exactly that, just very, very open and very honest. And yeah, no, I thought it was great.
Well, yeah, and I'll keep going so we can get this part of it done. I also really liked it. I loved the thing, mostly through and through. I just loved Lars as a character. He was so him, so awkward. They had so many random things thrown in there just to send that home. Little awkward dance when the other guy was dancing with Bianca, like that came across so well. He wears. Did you guys ever notice that hat that he was wearing? I think it was actually like a ski mask because you could see his hair through the hat so many times, but he just wore it. So it's like ski mask where you like pull it over your head and there's like the eye sockets or whatever.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I think you're right, actually.
You know what I mean now? Because there was like the red trim, but then there was hair coming out at one point.
Yeah.
So
No, I think you're right.
it was very,
I didn't realize that.
very very random. And then just him caring for. I don't know, like a lot of different stuff came up with him too, which I won't talk about now, I guess. But I will talk about spoilers. And I loved it, and I also really enjoyed too. It felt very different, to be honest. Like going into this, Lars and the real girl. There's a doll there, and it's a sex doll. So you going into it, you're like, okay, this probably is gonna go a certain route with it being a sex doll, and especially once you realize that he's like socially awkward. At no point did it come across the way that I thought it was, which is like creepy or anything like that. At no point. And I don't know. I thought that was kind of refreshing.
Should we each get like a 5-star rating first before we move on?
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, you can go first, Luke, if you want.
I want to go first. Let's go first. Okay,
Okay.
what you guys are thinking first. Yeah.
Is it out of 5 or 10?
I think we
Let's
said
do it
5 last time with Eli.
We
Ellie.
did too.
Okay, out of 5, I give it a 4.
4?
Yep.
I didn't actually think about this beforehand, so
I think
Oh.
I'm gonna also give it a 4.
Let's go.
I think I'm between 4 and 3.5. I think we go 3.5.
Really?
Okay.
I'm 0.5
Um,
points off you. That's not large.
No, I genuinely think you're rating it lower because you didn't actually watch it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I did watch it. Listening, I was looking at it while driving. Dangerous practice, but
Whoa.
oh well, we do not condone that on the LETZ Podcast.
No.
There was just so
I'm
many
thinking
little
giving it-
things. Just keep going.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna give it 4.5.
Wow.
4.5 stars. Yeah.
Crazy.
And Sorry, if you want to say something, Zach, you can interrupt me. But
No, you're
I
good.
think
Keep going.
I wanted to ask you and Evan because I was expecting you guys to be closer to the 5 out of 5. Why is it just 4 stars?
I'm not gonna lie. I
Yes,
kind of
4 stars
think
is really good. Get that? 4 stars is really good, but it's also just 8 out of 10. So
I'm
Just
not gonna
8 out
lie.
of
I was
10.
kind of thinking 4.5 at first, but I don't. There's just like a couple parts. I think it was a little too predictable. Is one of my problems. There was
okay,
like you get halfway through the movie and you know where it's gonna go. That was one of the main issues I had with it. And then there was just like a couple things where it was like I don't know. It was just like I understand you need to establish relationships with people, but I feel like we're dwelling on some stuff.
feel like it was kind of like slow at a certain part slash scenes, is what you're saying.
Like a little bit, but not like crazy. It was just like I don't know if we need to do it that long, but it's not like some movies where you're like we didn't need that scene. That scene actually did nothing. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, and I definitely would agree with that. I thought they did well with that. What about you, Evan? Why? Yeah, why 4 to? And I guess it's very different for you too because you didn't just watch it, but
No, I was gonna say, I do think it's probably the pacing. I don't know what you would cut, but this is the exact movie that would be like perfect at 90 minutes. Like you see that 90
Yeah.
minutes and you're like, oh, perfect, easy throw on, very light. You see that like 104 minutes, it's a little daunting. And I know that's only a 14-minute difference. I
was
don't
gonna
know where
say,
you'd
it's
cut
not
that 10 minutes.
that different.
But there is something psychologically about an hour and a half movie versus an hour 45. It just is. Your brain goes, oh, that's 2 hours. Whereas this 90 minutes, easy throw on. That's 2 episodes of a 45-minute show. You know what I mean? So I do think this would be the perfect 10-minute shorter movie, if that makes sense.
I agree. That was my critique. I think I think
Cool.
the pacing's slow at some points.
Cool.
I'm glad we agree.
Let's go.
spoilers section now. What do you guys think of the ending? I guess we'll jump right into that.
The ending, I thought it was very predictable. I knew exactly where it was gonna go. As soon as she had walked to him in the church, I was like, they're gonna end up with each other. I knew it right away, and lo and behold, they go bowling, and it was history after that. The only thing I'll say I didn't see coming was the way they got rid of Bianca. I was like, I thought that was interesting. I did have it spoiled that there was going to be a funeral, so I was kind of just waiting for it, I guess.
Hmm.
But I didn't expect it to be him to kind of set the things in motion. I thought they would be like, "Oh my goodness, come in here, she's not breathing," and then he'd have to like go along with it, or else he'd be like a liar, and they'd kind of like coerce him into like realizing that she's not real, whereas it really was him accepting reality kind of as the movie goes on.
Yeah, yeah, and I would have been surprised if they did that because they even say at one point like Bianca is what Lars makes her. Like from
Yeah.
the start, it's whatever he says goes. So they kind of developed like that. But I also agree. I was surprised that they did kill her off. I thought maybe he was just gonna like snap to at one point.
Yeah,
Um,
something like that.
but technically, like at no point did he snap to. Like, and that even got me thinking too. Now with this other girl, are they gonna talk about Bianca in his past life now? Like, are they gonna be like,
Thought
man,
about
remember when
that
you were
too.
with that girl, Bianca? And I laughed so much. The Bianca the missionary.
Yeah.
It was her title.
That was
Half
funny.
Brazilian, half Danish. No, and I thought the ending was really cool. I kind of liked how abrupt it was. At first, I was like, oh man, I wanted to see more just of their life together. But then after sitting with it for a sec, I kind of liked it. Like that's all we kind of needed, and I thought it was a really good ending.
There was a couple things in the movie that I noticed that were really, I think this is what I mean that I think Luke missed out on. One, he always wears his mom's blanket. It's like the scarf in the bowling alley. He needs it back as soon as he gives it away to the sister. It's the one he always sits on Bianca's lap. It's because it was his mom's the whole time. And another thing that you would have missed is he doesn't touch anybody. They talk about that, but there's two people that he ends up touching in the movie, And both of them are because of that girl. He shakes the guy's hand in the office because he wants Eric to leave and he wants to like prove to the girl that he can do it. And then at the end, he shakes her hand. Those are the only two people that he willingly touches.
That's cool. I thought that was a really cool addition. That whole, which is a thing in the medical field. I forget what it's called now. It's like a phobia, begins with an HY. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool inclusion.
Yeah,
well.
that's cool. Doesn't bump it up half a star for me, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I know it doesn't.
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. Cool fact. Like I'm glad. No, it was a good movie. I liked the ending too. Actually, I quite liked the ending. Yeah, most of my problems stemmed from the start. I just think it took a while. So I don't know. Ending was solid though. I liked the ending. It was really sweet. The whole movie was really sweet. Back to Evan's comment about the movie being really genuine. I really enjoyed that. And not to get like societal for a sec, but we're kind of far removed from, I guess, that sense of community just through all the things that have happened to our world since that time. 2006 is a very different time from 2025. And so at first, one of my problems too is I had trouble buying into the premise. I wonder if that's part of just because of the environment that I grew up in the world we're living in now, where it's like I was like, I don't think a community would treat somebody with a doll in this way. But it was cool to see because it is really community films like that like always give me a good feel. So it was really nice to see that, I guess, in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. I love the whole like we were doing it for Lars the whole time. Again, going back to like he was never creepy. He was always nice. He was going to church and he was helping that older woman out. And then here it is, like the whole community supporting him. It was really nice. It was really funny that they really did make Bianca into like her own person. And I loved when they started arguing. And there was that one scene when he went upstairs, and then the sister-in-law and that older lady is in the room with Bianca, and they're like, "You can't hang out with Bianca right now. She's a busy girl. She's gonna go do her own thing."
We were gonna Scrabble.
Yeah, crazy that mother put her kid on Bianca in the waiting room.
Yeah,
that is insane. And regardless of how everyone's treating Lars, I would not put my child on that doll.
Can we talk about Ryan Gosling for a sec?
Yes.
We talked about this a little earlier.
Yes.
Time to do the deep dive on Ryan Gosling. Trent, question now is being posed to you. Did this change your opinion of Ryan Gosling? Are you on our side now? Are you a lover of the God's father, if you will?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty banger name, right?
Thanks so much for that question, Luke. I really appreciate that question.
That's a no. Just the way he started.
This context, Ryan Gosling, he's just kind of like a one-dimensional dude, you know. He just plays that like that
How do you
that
watch
serious
this movie and say that?
That serious. Whoa, no context. I've always thought that he was serious and just this action guy who just that no emotion face the whole time he acts, and he's not great. I thought he was awesome in this. I thought he was so fantastic. I thought he put on the whole awkward thing. Fantastic the whole time.
I thought you were
but then those emotional beats.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Those emotional beats that came up, then he hit those so well too. So no, he was fantastic in this. He was really, really awesome.
Let's go. Now you have to rewatch everything that you've like hated on because of him and be like, oh man, this guy has range, this guy's acting.
I also know, dude, Barbie and Blade Runner themselves have such great difference in how he performs. Like, there's no way that you could make that statement before. I'm so blown away.
Did you just say Blade Runner, or did you say something else? Sorry. I
said Barbie and Blade Runner are so different in his performances. Barbie. I don't know. I don't even know how you.
Maybe Barbie. There's an argument there, but I don't think it's strong enough. Blade Runner, though, that's one of the movies. He's literally just like this.
We've made this exact argument to you before.
Frustrating.
Crazy.
The whole time he's.
You know what?
Whole time.
Crazy. Insane.
Back to commenting, I love Ryan Gosling. He is one of the actors I always go to the theaters to see. I also thought we talked about this a little bit earlier. This was, in my mind, I watched a little video on this. This is a big swing for Gosling to take. Coming off The Notebook, you're starring in a movie where you play this super awkward guy who's married to... It's very different than his image was being cultivated. You know, he's like... that movie, he plays like the hunk. He's probably like the summer supermodel or whatever. And then after that, you do this super awkward role. I thought he was really ballsy of him. I thought it was a sick move. It wasn't like.
Do you think though he would have been doing it so he wouldn't get like typecasted? Like, do you think maybe he wanted that like huge change from what he did previously?
Possible. I kind of think Ryan Gosling is just an actor who picks up roles he's interested in, and this is one that he was interested in. But I mean, it's very a lot of actors don't like to, and it's a very good point. He made a few movies in between that I haven't seen to make like a for sure statement, but I think it's a fair point, Trent.
Just to jump off your point there, Luke, he was very much not considered a hunk. He was considered ugly by Hollywood standards. That's why he was cast in The Notebook, is because they wanted a regular looking dude. And he's always kind of been the weird outcast. So I think this was like a perfect role for him to slide into. I don't know exactly when I would say his stardom took off, but like, yeah, no, post Notebook, he was like considered ugly, which is crazy, by the way. Just saying. Ryan Gosling is a very attractive dude. So, yeah.
Dude, male stereotype, you know? What do we live up to, you know? If Ryan Gosling's ugly, cheapers.
Yeah, really though.
Dude, it's crazy.
Canadian. We like Canadian.
We love Canadian.
Love that. He doesn't seem to like talk about it a lot though.
No, I don't know.
Show that Canada
say in Canada.
What do you want him to say?
I don't know. I
want him to say more, drink some maple syrup on screen, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want him to pretend that I don't want him to pretend he's American, you know?
I just want him to
I want him
sing.
to put maple syrup in his Tim Hortons while he's taking pet beaver
to do the Ryan Reynolds route and be like, oh, I have a collab with Tim's. I'm so Canadian. Okay, dude. You're not.
I feel like Ryan Gosling hasn't been in Canada since like 2004 though.
Yeah, no, that's
what I mean. Like he's like,
well, okay. On a Barbie press tour, he was in Toronto with Simu Liu because he's also Canadian, and that was their whole angle. It was like, wow, look, Canadians in Canada. Isn't that crazy?
I definitely did not know he was a Canadian.
Gotta love when Americans do that. Just you know what Canadians love? Canada. Let's shove that down their throats.
They got us.
True.
Is Ryan Gosling your guys' favorite Canadian actor? Do you think he's the peak of Canadian acting?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to see a list of Canadian actors.
I'm tempted. I was looking it up.
I need to look at it.
Jim Carrey.
I quite like Will Arnett and then Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Will Arnett's good.
Jay Bruce.
Oh yeah, Jim Carrey.
Leslie Nielsen's Canadian.
Christopher Plummer. I didn't know that. Donald Sutherland? Dude, we just have all the talent down here.
Yeah, the Sutherlands. Yeah.
I mean, I knew Donald Sutherland was. I didn't know Michael Cera was.
Canadian?
We're like
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen is.
What? Dude, what is this list?
Michael Cera's Canadian?
Michael Cera's Canadian.
No.
Yeah. This is breaking news, dude. Breaking news.
Martin Short? Hayden Christensen? I forgot about that.
Hayden Christensen, he's on this list. I know that either. That's
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu
Reeves. I take it back. Maybe Keanu Reeves is my favorite Canadian.
I've seen videos of Keanu Reeves taking like the train in Toronto just casually, and people don't realize it's him.
Yeah. No, Keanu
Rachel
Reeves
McAdams. I love Rachel McAdams so much. Norm Macdonald's not really an actor, but
yeah,
she is.
Bro, this list is blowing my mind.
This is crazy.
Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, didn't know that one. Okay.
Even if that whole list.
Jay Baruchel. Yeah.
Baruchel? Is that what you said?
Baruchel.
Listen to Evan's pronunciation.
Baruchel.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be hard.
I don't know if Ryan Gosling's my favorite. I think I'd be pretty comfortable saying I think he's the most talented on that list. I think he's shown the most range.
I don't know, dude. Crazy. Christopher Plummer, Donald Sutherland. Those are powerhouses. So I don't know if I can say that. I don't disagree. But I don't know.
Christopher Plummer.
Yeah. I don't know if I can.
I don't even recognize the name.
He's the old man in Knives Out, but he was also in like Sound of Music way back in the day. And anyway,
who was he in Sound of Music?
He's the father.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
God, dude, what is this?
Mind blowing, dude. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that was before acting was good. I don't know. I think you can point to that.
Whoa.
What?
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, so for the awards, this is something we're going to implement in the movie reviews. We're going to have 4 categories right now, and we might add to that, but we'll probably try to stick with the same categories for each movie. And we're just going to each pick our favorite for the award. So for the first category, we're going to do our favorite... Actually, can everyone do favorite scene, or do we want to save that for the last one?
Let's save for the last one. That seems like a last thing to end on.
Yep. We'll do actor and actresses for now. So our favorite actor slash actress in the whole movie,
Bianca.
and I don't know what else you could say, but I'm gonna say Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. Sorry, Ryan
Oh,
Gosling.
disrespect
Gosling.
to
Sorry,
me.
sorry.
The Godfather.
Yeah, he was awesome in this. It made me an actual fan of
Exactly.
Ryan, so he's great. What's your guys' pick?
I think Ryan Gosling's a close second to Bianca.
Really?
So
Oh, yes, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Bianca's
I think
sick.
she really carried. But
Bianca
yeah,
stan.
so I think I understand Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling is my pick. I think the movie hinges on his performance, and he performed. There's nothing
Really?
else. Well, if he did it differently, I think the movie could have felt more uncomfortable in a way that's not.
Yeah,
I think
was
there's
gonna
a
say,
lot of
who
ways
else
where it
was
doesn't.
gonna carry. The other person's a doll. I know they
Well,
played the role
sure,
well.
that's great. I also love the sister. I can't remember her actress name. I thought she was great, but Ryan Gosling, I picked for one.
Yeah, I mean, there is no other answer here. If it was like a wider ensemble cast, maybe, but like it's Ryan Gosling's movie, so yes, he's the best. Give him the dub. Everyone else is really good though. Like there is no, wow, that's a really bad performance. Even like every like side character is really well done, but it's got to be the Gauze.
Right quick, I do want to talk about him again. I really do. I did love his brother, Paul Schneider. I thought he was awesome in this, and I do agree. I think it was Zach that said it earlier, where um, him going from like almost not. I don't want to say not caring because he still cared enough to like have him over for supper earlier, but that was mostly his wife that did that. But going from that to caring quite a lot for him, so much so that he checked in. I like that it showed him checking in. I think it was like 3 times throughout the movie, Bianca before he went to sleep, like just to look in and make sure she was there. I don't know, that was just really sweet, and and yeah, I thought it's if anything, I wanted more from him and Lars. Like, it would have been really fun to see them like go to that treehouse together or something, like a scene of just the two of them doing something together. Maybe that wasn't required, and that's just something I wanted. Whatever, but he was really awesome in this.
Nice.
Cool. So for the next award, we're gonna do the we'll do favorite score slash music. And I'll go first real quick. I'm not gonna be able to name one. Um,
Big fan.
but the score was awesome. I thought the score was really, really fantastic. I forgot to look up the main score of the
Composer.
movie. Look it up right quick. But I just thought it was really awesome, and I think I'm gonna add it to my playlist. It was that good, so it says something.
Whoa.
David Torn seems to be the composer, by the way. So yeah, that's my favorite. Someone else can go.
I can jump in next. I also loved the score. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought it was really whimsical in a way that really also helped all those things. Like it really, I don't know. The score was amazing. I thought the score killed it. My favorite specific thing, Ryan Gosling sings LOVE, and I was like, this is awesome. I need a whole album of Ryan Gosling singing these classic songs. I was
He
like,
was hitting both parts.
yeah.
He was hitting
Before
highs,
Barbie,
dude. Oh my goodness.
he could sing
Before
before
Barbie.
Barbie. So I don't know. I thought that was
Not gonna
great.
lie. That's the part I was gonna go with too. That scene also just summed up his whole character in this like really well. Clinically insane.
Nice.
Do
I'll
you give it to
go.
Love as well? Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just for context, Talking Heads is one of my favorite bands, and This Must Be the Place is like my favorite song from them. Very well could be my favorite song of all time. So I got to give it to that scene. I think it's just playing either in the bowling alley or like a party towards the end. But man, when that comes on, I get so like, I don't know, I love that song. It's just so good. So yeah, that's my favorite like score, favorite scene.
Next one we're gonna do quote. Um, and I'll go first again for this one. As I can't think of any other one. I should have wrote one down during the movie. But this goes back to the ending. I really loved the whole just want to go on a walk, and then just ends on that. Um, so that's my favorite quote. I thought that was really nice. Made me smile when he said it. So
Can my quote be a paraphrase? Roughly.
No.
go for it.
When they're when he's talking to the community, bringing his girl, the doll, to church, one of the members is like, "What would Jesus do?" And I thought that was hilarious. I was like, "No way, you just use what would Jesus do on bringing a sex doll." I'm gonna have to use that in my church. Yeah, so it's like, what would Jesus do? And then it pans to him having her in the church. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I've totally
That's a good one.
used that one. That was really good.
That was pretty good. I think. Ah, dude. I don't know. I really like the one where they take the flowers to her, and then he goes, "They're nice, huh? And they're not real, so they'll last forever." I think that scene. I think that was really good, but I think it was like kind of heavy too, because like while he's pushing around this doll, he's talking about things lasting forever, dealing with all the trauma from his mom. Is like that really just summed it up well, I think.
That's a great one again. Oh, you guys is much better than mine. That line was awesome.
Dude, that's one I was gonna pick because I looked up Lars and the Real Girl quotes, and that's the first thing that came up, and I was like, I love that scene. That was so good.
Zach got the emotional heart of the movie.
Yeah, he did.
You gonna do a different one, Evan?
Yeah, I was gonna pick one. I do, like I just said, I have them in front of me, but I'm reading them and I can see the scene in my head. The scene where Gus is talking to the like psychiatrist, like the family doctor, and he just says, "Pretend that she's real. I'm just not gonna do it." And the doctor goes, "She is real. Like she exists.
Yeah.
She is there." I thought that was a good scene.
I think another good one
I know.
too was when the brother was talking to the girl there, and he was talking about how he I don't have the quote here, but he's talking about how he left and then came back, took the house, and then let his brother go in the shed like a dog. That one was pretty heavy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And segue before we do the last award. This is what I wanted to talk about earlier, and I forgot. I thought the whole thing of him when he was with the doctor, the psychiatrist, when it came up with him being nervous for Karen, for his sister-in-law, about her having the baby, and being nervous about that, like. I thought that worked so well, and if there was a point that I was maybe going to cry, it would have been there, because he's having his little panic attack, and it's about that. And again, it drives the message home that Lars is this awkward, socially awkward guy. He's a great guy, like he's an awesome guy. Just cares for the people around him, even if he doesn't really show it that often. Like I loved that part, and then it wasn't during that scene. I guess maybe it was a different scene where he talked about his mother and losing his mother, and then
Yeah, that therapy session.
it was
When he
so.
gets up and he starts freaking out, and she's like, "Sit down, put your head between your knees." That one was I got a little teary. That one was pretty sad because it was the turning point. It was where you started to understand why everything's happening. He's doing this because he's too scared to get close to somebody. It's not because he's weird. It's not because he's like, I don't know, unable to. Well, he's kind of unable to, but it's because he's like he's doing it for them, not himself. And then that's like,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So the last award is a favorite.
I didn't
scene.
cry, by the way, guys.
It's
I
kind
didn't
of-
cry.
Oh my.
I only
goodness.
cry at
I didn't cry either.
I only cry at like
I think that's
super
why-
awesome action scenes. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Sorry, what were you saying, Trent?
This is cinema.
I was like,
John
"Oh,
Wick-
when I see
John
the
Wick 4,
flag,
that made me cry.
Yes.
when I see the eagle land on a flag."
Dude, Top
When the
Gun
beaver
Maverick.
chews. Yeah, that scene, dude. That plane past the other plane. Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
man.
I was like, this is like
Serious, dude.
Godfather, dude.
Peak cinema.
All of Godfather was just crying. I was like, we'll never get back to this point. Sorry, Trent. You go. What you're gonna say? I was just being goofy.
The last award is for our favorite scenes, which we kind of walked around. I feel like the last little bit, but yeah, what's you guys' number one favorite scene? And I don't know.
I think scene as a whole has to be that therapy session when he starts freaking out. I don't know if there's much better than that. That really drove home the whole plot of the movie.
Great scene.
Really good scene. Yeah. I was gonna say the treehouse
If I-
scene where he's singing.
Oh,
I
yes, love that one.
I like that one.
Those are better than mine. I'm gonna just do the one. It's the one at the very start where he's at the car and like she's talking to him and he's super awkward. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the very
Very
first
terrible job
meeting we see of them. Yeah.
That made me laugh so hard. That was my the funniest thing they made to me. I was like, I've seen that on Instagram before too. I just think that's hilarious. It's like belt out laugh, but like his memes, like the type of Ryan Gosling I would be.
When she
people
comes up to
sound like Ryan
the house.
No, can someone explain this better than I just did?
It was the one where she invites him over for supper, but she like jumps in front of the car and she starts like freaking out. She's like, Lars, come, you gotta come over. We're having salmon for supper. And then he goes, you scared me, because he's trying to come up with like any excuse not to go.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Like, and then she eventually like tackles him to the ground.
Yeah, and then they go to supper.
Yeah, cool.
Good soup.
Yes, that was a good scene. But the best scene, CPR bear scene, when he goes and comforts his girl in the movie, the actual girl. What's her name?
I don't remember. I've been avoiding it this whole
That's
time.
bad. I literally have no idea.
Ooh.
I knew the
Margot.
sister was Karen.
Margot.
Oh my gosh, she looks so different now. Anyway,
Good or bad?
Oh,
what?
that's her. I was looking at that picture trying to figure out who she was.
Rating out of 10, Trent. Rating out of 10.
Yeah, Trent, would you trade your current girlfriend?
I see nothing.
Oh, that's
But
not
yeah,
a
I
no.
love that
That's a
CPR
yes.
bear scene. So I love CPR bear scene. I thought it was really
Of course,
nice.
you
It was
want
really
to have a CPR
genuine.
now.
Just to goes and is there with Margot, and apparently that whole scene is also gosh, what's the word when it's come up on the spot? The actor. Improv. Apparently it's all improv by Ryan.
Good job,
I saw
Zach.
somewhere. And yeah, I just loved it. And he literally did. It was so thorough too. He just checked like the pulse with his watch. He did like the compressions and then the air thin. And no, I just thought it was really cute.
Good scene.
I'm gonna
Love
watch
that
that
scene.
scene if I ever have to do real CPI.
I'd be like, yo, I just gotta pull up a movie right quick.
He did it right. I know he did it right. Where is it? Like scrolling through the movie.
I just listened to Staying
So,
Alive
yeah.
by the Bee Gees.
Smart play.
So that was that. I just have a few random facts that I found. If we can go through them quickly, and then
Yep.
that'll be the end of this episode. Apparently, Ryan Gosling, he kept the doll.
Oh.
I wouldn't totally quote this because it was actually on Instagram and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So it could have been wrong, but apparently he kept the doll. The doll had 9 faces that they changed throughout the film. And it was something like at the beginning, it looked like pristine or whatever, and by the end of it, it looked like it was kind of like a darker face, like it was dying type thing. It was very subtle, of course. We didn't see it
I
really.
didn't notice.
At least I didn't notice it. Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
I thought there
Apparently
was
that's
like a
amazing.
slight change, but they did the hair like thing. So I thought that
Yes.
was like
And apparently it was apparently it also adjusted the smile slightly too, or something.
interesting.
But yeah. There's also the doll, Bianca, was treated on set like an actual person. So she would be dressed privately in her own trailer,
That's
and
awesome.
was only there for her scenes. So it wasn't like she was a prop that was just laid out anyways. She would only be there for her scenes, and it was for Ryan to stay in character, I guess.
Who do you think got the honor of
I thought
changing
it
the
was
doll
funny.
alone in her room?
Hey, yo.
Really?
I think would be the credit titles, which were Bianca Wrangler and Assistant Bianca Wrangler. Those
That's
were literally
awesome.
credits on the reel, yeah.
That's hilarious.
And it's
Dude,
2 people. Isn't that crazy? There was 2 people that were there.
Yeah,
just
Assistant
for
Wrangler.
Bianca.
Google does confirm that he kept the doll.
Okay, so maybe that was true.
Imagine telling your parents who your last movie role was. Yeah, Mom, I was the. You see Lars and the Real Girl? I wrangled that doll.
Yeah.
Imagine
Whole
like
time.
bringing that home. Like Was he married then? Imagine coming over to your wife with a doll and be like, no, it's a part of a movie. It's a prop.
I promise. Okay.
And then the last
If,
fact I had actually was the doll did not actually, in fact, have genitalia. Really.
That's
That's
good.
depressing.
Point then.
Oh.
Why did so many people confirm it in the movie then?
Because they knew it wasn't actually there. They had to sell it on us, you know?
Fake news. This
Wow,
liberal
never
woke
mind. You had
agenda
a fucking
ruining
bad
everything.
movie.
That was a pretty good impression.
Big sex industry wants you to believe.
We're gonna make sex dolls great again. They're gonna have genitalia. It's gonna be amazing. It'll be great.
Well, I guess we'll end. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button. And yeah, do use the comment section.
Yes.
Include some questions or some. Well, mainly questions is what we want, because I think that'd be kind of fun answering random questions.
You can even ask personal stuff, like, like what's my middle name, or who do I love in this world?
Yeah,
I'll answer.
Ask what his social insurance number
Yeah.
is, and then ask for the numbers on the back of his bank card.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'll give them to you. Just ask, and you shall receive.
And that's how we know you actually watch, is if you get this far and listen to it.
That's how we know.
We're like, oh, they made it.
You're a real
this
fan.
far.
Yeah. Real homies ask for
And-
social security.
Scene.
Eat your breakfast.